ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Players Zone. No, starting now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Players Zone YouTube channel. And welcome back to our Champions League first leg semi-final predictions. All the way here now to the final four. And what two great fixtures we've got. Probably the underdog story in one half and then the battle of two giants in the other half. Coming off some great quarterfinals. So if anything like the quarterfinal fixtures, we'll be over the moon. There'll be so hope to see anything like that once again. That's what the Champions League can deliver. It's been one long week without it, but we're once again back for these first leg of affairs and massive storylines to talk about. So cannot wait to dive into that. Before we get into the predictions, guys, if you wouldn't mind just liking this video, subscribing to the Players Zone channel if you like this sort of type of content. Share the channel with mates who also enjoy this type of content and press that post notification bell so you know when we upload our podcast reaction videos and these prediction videos on the channel here as well. With that all being said, ladies and gents, let's get straight now into the Champions League semi-final first leg predictions. Alrighty, the first game is the massive one. Bayern Munich hosting Real Madrid at the Allianz Arena there in Germany, in Munich. What a game we've got here on our hands. First leg, very, very important, especially in these sort of big team ties. Both teams come into it in decent form, but it's always important you get that first step towards the final by controlling, winning, dominating that first leg. And that's why it's going to be very important to see here which team comes out in the front foot. It'll be very interesting to see. Starting with Bayern, they come off a terrific two-legged, well-managed affair versus Arsenal. You came to that tie there, and many thought Arsenal would be the ones to easily go through. But what Bayern did well was they managed the moments. I talk about Real Madrid and managing moments, but Bayern, considering the up and down season they've had, they managed that game very, very well. At the Emirates, counter-attacked well with one-touch passing, used pace to get in behind, utilised their wingers who've underperformed all season to do both work going forward and also backtracking and defending as well. That was fabulous to see. And then what we saw also was that clinical nature to score when needed and then defend really, really well. Only allowing Arsenal, I think, 8 shots in that second leg at the Allianz, denying them any real clear-cut opportunities, shutting out Saka and Odegaard. They're going to do a very similar job here. And you look to that centre-back pairing in that back four to do another great job again. But can they keep doing that against a Real Madrid team that's just formidable? They'll keep going and they'll find a way. Obviously, Bayern, that 1-0 second leg win against Arsenal was a lot of confidence boosting. They're going to face a similar type of task here in terms of a team that's going to be relentless, a team that's always going to challenge you in different ways. Real Madrid do it to the next level, I believe, versus Arsenal, but at least you've got a sort of insight to it with Arsenal there. So they managed that game well. The problem being, or the difference being in this tie, I can imagine Bayern will be the team with a lot more possession, the team on the front foot for larger periods. Can they manage to get in control of games and capitalise when they're on top? Because we know what Real Madrid do. Whenever they get a half chance, a half sniff, they'll put it away, especially in the Champions League. We know how clinical they can be. For Bayern, it's a 5-game unbeaten streak across all competitions recently, which is really, really good to see. Probably their most impressive result, the 2-1 win recently over Frankfurt the weekend, where they dominated them from start to finish. It might not seem like much to the casual eye, but Frankfurt, a team that's pushing for Europa League or Conference League football in the league, but they dominated them that game there. 2 for Harry Kane and a really clinical 90-minute performance. They look to carry that momentum and carry that form into this game here. The big news being Jamal Musiala looks fit and ready to go for this game here, so that's a massive in for Bayern Munich. I think he's going to be a standout player for me, the X factor for Bayern. Can he create stuff in that final third there? Can he try and facilitate Harry Kane and give him chances? But Jamal Musiala's got that ability, the X factor, to rip a game apart. Real Madrid, I'll touch on some of their players. They've got a lot of those players who can do that. But for me and for Bayern, it looks solely like Jamal Musiala is going to be that guy. The guy that can produce a great run, that can break apart the Real Madrid press or Real Madrid low block. The person to play that defense-splitting pass or to score that weldy from a set piece. I think he's going to be the guy you're going to have to shut down for Real Madrid and for Bayern. Get him as many touches of the football as possible. Allow him to try and break down this low block that Real are likely to put in place. Second massive player is obviously going to be Harry Kane for obvious reasons. The goal-scoring machine. Get in the ball as much as possible. It's going to be hard for him. He's not going to have many chances against Real Madrid. We know how they shut out Haaland. We know how they shut out many other forwards amongst Europe. But if you can get Harry Kane enough chances, he'll put him away. He's a very clinical finisher. We can't forget he was at Tottenham with Jose Mourinho not too long ago, so he knows what it's like to feed off scraps almost. So get him as much chances as possible, getting the ball inside that 6-yard box or in the box, and he'll score more often than not. But it's about finding him the ball, because we know Real Madrid are so good at shutting out the centre forward of the opposition side. So very important that he gets the ball at his feet as much as possible. And then obviously De Ligt and Eric Dyer at the back, the likely combination, the duo at centre back. Big pressure on them. I've said a lot, and on the podcast, me and Nathan have said it as well. That high line they play, they can get exploited very often. So it's important for Bayern here to try and not get exploited at the back with the pacey Real Madrid forwards, the likes of Bellingham pushing through. A lot of emphasis goes into Lema in that midfield alongside Goretzka to shut the late run of Jude Bellingham out as well, and then stopping Rodrigo and Vinicius, those two centre-halves as well. A lot of pressure on them to deliver here. It's one thing doing and shutting down Arsenal at home, but it's another thing shutting out Real Madrid at home, especially with the quality, the pace, the skill that team's got. So those players are going to be massive for Bayern Munich. When you move on to Real Madrid now, they come off a historic type win at the Etihad, 4-3 on penalties, grinding out a 1-1 draw on the 3-3 at home. Again, no one really gave him much of a chance. I definitely 100% gave him a chance, but it was a tough, real Real Madrid top performance in the Champions League. Backs against the wall, defending for 80 to 90 to 100 minutes there at the Etihad, but getting the job done in the end, finding the right moments, Rodrigo getting in behind for that early goal, and then defending from there on in. Lunin in goal, massive. Danny Carvajal playing a yellow card for 80, 90 minutes. Just fabulous. And that's what I expect once again. It's going away to the Allianz. It's not an easy place to play football, but I like the chances with Carvajal there, Nacho, the leaders at the back to lead this group. And I look to the experienced head like Modric and Kroos in midfield. One of them will be going in there alongside Tchouaméni or Camavinga. It's likely to be seen. So they're going to add that reinforcement. Fede Valverde providing some integrity there on the flank, but will tuck in narrow centrally to try and prevent easy ball play in that midfield area there. They've got so many players. I can talk about them all day long. But I think for me, the key player here is Vinicius. He's been great all season. Hasn't been his best season, but what I've been waiting to see is that breakout, standout game of the Champions League this season. He's had games in seasons in the past where he's broken the game apart with his X factor and his skill, but hasn't quite done that yet in the knockout stages of this season's Champions League. And I feel like this is a great occasion. Rodrigo had it last time out in versus City. You're going away to the Allianz. It's a very important first leg affair to try and get this lead to take into the second leg at the Bernabeu. And I think with some slower centre halves and Bayern, the ability to get exposed in the counter-attack, I think with his skill and his pace, he's going to be massive for me. So I'm calling on Vinicius Jr. to break this game apart. Obviously, we all know about Jude Bellingham and Rodrigo, but I think this game screams Vinicius Jr. to try and take control of the game. Obviously, Real Madrid come into this game on 18 games unbeaten. They haven't lost since that Copa del Rey knockout to their rivals Atletico Madrid. And once again, you expect that pragmatic style of football that Ancelotti's sort of instilled this season. It's what Real Madrid do best. They don't change their style of football for anyone. They'll play their way and they'll break teams down their own way, whether it be on the counter-attack or with slower build-up. They're not going to try and play these high lines or aggressive football, but having Rudiger back there, the belief alongside Nacho at the back there, whether Camavinga plays centrally or at the fullback or wing-back position, there's so many ways that can be versatile and mobile in a game to beat teams. And I think they just have too many tools, too many sharp edges to beat a team. That's why I think Bayern, despite a good turnaround in form, they're going to have too much for Bayern to handle. I've got them winning this game 2-1 Real Madrid. Again, nice and tight away from home. But I think in the big moments, they'll nick the important goals or win those important 50-50s or make that big block or Lunin to make a big save. I think they've just got those players with the experience, with the confidence, and with all the skill set just to beat Bayern. I think Bayern will make it interesting, but Real Madrid, with the current form they're on, the confidence some of these players have and the experience they've got, they know how to read bigger moments. They know how to manage momentum. God, they just beat arguably the best team in the world. So I think they'll carry that on to this game here. Bayern's form will take them close, but not close enough for me. So they've got Real Madrid winning this first leg away from home, 2-1. Our second tie is Borussia Dortmund, who hosts PSG. Massive for either side, whoever can get through to make it all the way to Wembley there. So very excited to see which team can go through on this side of the draw as well. Probably more the underdog side of the draw, but very interesting nonetheless. Touching on Dortmund first, they come into the semi-finals off a great second leg versus Atletico Madrid. One of the most exciting second legs, a 4-2 result there. They got them through 5-4 in aggregate. But despite that great result, it's been a bit topsy-turvy in the league. Only one win their last 4 league games. A bit inconsistency, beaten 4-1 last time out versus Leipzig, who are a very attacking team. They're going to have to treat it very similar against PSG here because they're also a very attacking, goal-scoring type team under Enrique. That's really hard to stop. So good little test on the weekend versus Leipzig, but I hope they can manage the game a bit better than what they showed in the weekend. For Borussia Dortmund, it's really, really important they win this game and get a 1 or 2 goal difference here at home, because that home ground advantage, like we saw last time out versus Atletico Madrid, is worth 2 or 3 goals with the momentum they get from the yellow wall, the confidence that crowd can instill, and how much of a hostile environment it is for many teams to play there, especially a younger PSG team to come across here and play at the Signal Iduna Park. So really important they get off to a quick start and manage the game well and don't allow PSG much momentum in this game here. Try and control this game from minute 1 to minute 90, because this is your advantage here, the home ground advantage. For both teams in many regards, their home ground is a big advantage in this tie because both teams are very young. Both teams haven't experienced these massive occasions. So it's important you control that home crowd and get your home crowd fans in behind you and onside. Talking about individual players, for Borussia Dortmund, for me, it's been a lot this season, but in Maatsen, since coming across, I've highlighted him as being such an important player for them, and he stood up. Goals and assists now coming into his game, but his ability to be so dynamic up and down that flank there is so important for me. Obviously, the second leg there, last time at the Champions League, he was massive against Atletico Madrid, getting on the score sheet and being so important to what everything Borussia Dortmund do going forward. When you've got to play like Füllkrug or a person like Haller up front, you need good balls into the area, and that's what Maatsen can provide. A really modern attacking fullback. And I think it'll be important once again, not only to shut down the dynamic PSG front line, and likely Dembele off the right there, but also to attack the other way and to provide chances for that centre forward there, whether it be Füllkrug or whether it be Haller as well. So he's been really important for me and been so important for this Dortmund team since coming across. I also put another emphasis on the centre-back pairing, Hummel, Schlotterbeck alongside Maatsen and Reyes and whoever plays as that back four there, because they're going to have to shut down the likes of Mbappe, Barcola, Dembele, so many different combinations, Gonzalo Ramos as well, which I think is their strongest part of the pitch. I reckon right now, maybe midfield as well, but their top half of the pitch is probably what their strength is, their goal-scoring ability, their dynamism in that final third there. So it's so important that Schlotterbeck and Hummels can put on another world-class performance like we saw versus Bayern Munich in the league not too long ago, like we saw in that second leg versus Atletico at times where Atletico were coming onto them. They had to really be really solid away from home in Madrid there. So I look to these two, especially Hummels, who's put some great performances over the last month or so to stand up and shut down the likes of Mbappe, the likes of Gonzalo Ramos, Barcola, the likes, because this team can get on a bit of a flow like Dortmund can, but PSG are a very momentum-based team. If they get a few goals, get some confidence, they're going to be a hard team to stop. So it's important that these two at the back, especially Hummels alongside Schlotterbeck, can shut down any of those PSG counters or any of those PSG great moves and prevent them from scoring. I think it's so important. Whoever scores first in this game has to be Dortmund for my liking if they want to get anything out of this two-legged affair. If PSG score first, they get the momentum, they can hold on for maybe a 1-1 away from home, and then you back them in at home to get the job done. So important that Dortmund can get on the score sheet early, and that's what leads me to my final sort of point here for Dortmund. Whether it be Haller or Füllkrug, I think it'll be Füllkrug like it go from the start. Feed this guy the ball, because whenever he gets a touch inside that 6-yard box, it normally ends in the back of the net. So give him chances, give him opportunities to put the ball in the back of the net, and you'll go a long way to victory here at home. So I think that's the keys here. Get Maatsen involved, allow him to do that, a lot of attacking down that wing back position. Make sure the centre backs are tight, prevent many PSG chances, prevent them having easy opportunities, and then feed the ball to Füllkrug, because we know how clinical can be in the final third. So feeding the ball, getting the ball as much as possible, and he'll put the ball in the back of the net for you. In terms of PSG, they come off a famous 6-4 aggregate win against Barcelona, the 4-1 away from home in Barcelona last time out in the second leg there. And most recently secured the league on the title. So all focus now is on this Champions League. All focus for Mbappe, I think, will be on the Champions League to try and create a legacy here with winning it for PSG. Luis Enrique wants that revenge after sort of being tossed aside by many teams and doubted by the footballing world. If he can get the job done here and get to a Champions League final with this PSG side, a lot of credit in the bank for him. And I look to his younger side and I look once again, can this backline perform? Probably their most experienced area, Donnarumma, Hakimi, Hernandez, Marquinhos, Nuno Mendes at the back. Can these players stand up? Because they're arguably the most experienced, the most money, but they haven't been the most consistent for me. It's the midfield areas and the forward areas that have got the job done. But against a real dynamic Dortmund final third with Sancho, Füllkrug, whether it be Royce Beer going up there as well, whoever ends up there in the final third, they can get a roll on. They've got roll on versus Atletico Madrid. Brandt there as well. I look to this PSG backline to shut them down. Away from home, you're going to have to manage momentum, manage the back and forth, especially against that yellow wall. That's going to be tough at times, a hostile environment. Can this back four stand up? The more experienced players, can they get the job done here away from home? It'll go a long way for them winning this two-legged affair if they can be solid in this game here and ride the waves, ride the punches, and get through this game relatively unscathed. If you concede 2 or less goals, it'll go a long way for them winning this two-legged tie. So really important that back four is on their A game. And then I touch on the midfield. If they can win this midfield battle here, I look at the likes of Vitinha, Lee, alongside Zaire, Fabio Ruiz. If they can get control of this midfield battle here, they're likely to win this game. I specifically target Sabitzer versus Vitinha, 2 of the better box-to-box midfielders going in the world right now, 2 of the more informed box-to-box or defensive type players. I'm loving the work of Sabitzer, goals and assists in all of his last 4 to 5 games. Vitinha being massive in the Champions League race. He tore Barcelona apart. So whoever can get control of that midfield battle, whoever out of those 2 there can win that battle, are likely to control the game. And as such, probably likely win the game. So you look to that midfield there. Can this younger midfield alongside Zaire, Ruiz, Lee, Vitinha, can they stand up? Because they've been so good so far in the Champions League, but can they do it once again away from home to control the game, to take the sting out of the game, to take Dortmund's control of the game? It'll be so, so important. So I look to them once again. And then obviously it's so important up top, Mbappe. Can he single-handedly get PSG over the line away from home? Will be another massive credit in his great repertoire of his career. Can he leave his legacy with PSG by taking them to a Champions League final and then in a final? It's a one game affair. You never know. But it's so important this first leg to not get blown out the park at the Signal Iduna Park, to stay in the game and to keep it interesting. So it's so important for him to stand up here and produce another one of those massive games in his legacy here. So that's where it sits for me. I think there'll be goals in this game. I've gone Dortmund to win 3-2. Use their home ground advantage, use the momentum to get to the line. But it's so important that both teams will give back and forth. But whoever can get to the line here will be massive for them going through in this tie. I think Dortmund defend home court in many regards and win this game 3-2 with all to play in the second leg. There we go, ladies and gents. That is my prediction for both semi-final first legs to an end. Let me know what you think of my predictions. What are your predictions? Let me know in the comment section down below. What are you most excited for in the semi-final first leg of affairs? Let me know what you think will make it through to the final. Leave it all in the comment section down below. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, guys, please smash a like on it. Subscribe to the Players Zone channel for more content like this. Press that post notification bell so you know we upload more videos and podcasts as well. That would be much appreciated. I hope you enjoy these Champions League ties. I cannot wait. Midweek football, Champions League football is back, and it's the semi-finals. The best time of the year to be a football fan in many regards. Who goes through? Make sure to let me know in the comment section down below. Hope you enjoy these games. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you guys in a video or reaction video or podcast very, very soon. Till next time, guys. See you later.